Hello, mathematicians. Today we're going to be learning about fractions, more specifically about equivalent fractions. To get us started, we have two fractions here. The first one being 5/10. Right below it, we have a model that's split up into 10 equal parts. In order to represent 5/10, we have to shade in 5 of these parts. And then we have 1/2. And here we have a model that's split up into 2 equal pieces. And in order to represent this fraction, we have to shade in 1 of those 2 pieces. Now, if we take a look at both models side by side, even though the fractions are different, they have different numerators, different denominators, they have the same area shaded for both, making these two fractions equivalent. This means that we could take both fractions and convert them to each other or simplify them to the same fraction. So let's do that now. Taking 5/10, notice that both 5 and 10 have a greatest common factor of 5, meaning I could divide the denominator by 5 and I could divide the numerator by 5. And if I divide both of them by 5, so 5 divided by 5 is equal to 1, and 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2. Notice we got 1/2, which was the other fraction that we were comparing it to, meaning that 5/10 is equivalent to 1/2. Alternatively, we could have taken 1/2 and multiplied them both by 5, and what happens when we multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 5 is that we end up with 5/10. So we could either take our first fraction and simplify it, or see if we can convert this fraction to the other one and see if they're equivalent. Here we have a different example. So we have 6/8 and 9/12. So for 6/8, we have a model here that's split up into 8 equal pieces. And 6 of them are going to be shaded because we have 6/8. Here, we have 9/12. We have a model that has 12 pieces, so we're going to shade in 9 of those pieces. So, if you look at both our models, even though they're split up into different amount of pieces, and even though our numerators here are different, representing different number of pieces, they're still equivalent. If we look at them side by side, the same area is shaded for both. This means that these two fractions are equivalent. So, another way we could have gone about this is if you look at both fractions, both of them can be simplified. If you take 6/8, notice that they both have a greatest common factor of 2. Meaning you could divide both the numerator and the denominator by 2. And 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3, and 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4. So 6/8 simplifies to the fraction 3/4. And then if you take 9/12, find the greatest common factor, which is 3, and divide them both by 3, we get 3/4, and they are equivalent. So 6/8 is equivalent to 9/12, and both of those fractions are also equivalent to 3/4. So here we have another example. We have 3/4 here, and we have a model that has 4 equal pieces, so we're going to shade in 3 of those pieces. Then we have 6/8, and we have a model that has 8 equal pieces, and we're going to shade in 6 of those pieces. Now, notice that we have the same amount shaded for each, so these are equivalent. So if we took 3/4 and multiplied both the numerator and the denominator by 2, we would get 6/8. And if we took 6/8 and divided both of them by 2, we would get 3/4. And here we have our final example, 2/6 and 3/9. So in this model, we have a model that's split up into 6 equal pieces, and we're going to shade in 2 of those pieces. Then we have a model that's split up into 9 equal pieces, and we're going to shade in 3 of those pieces. Now, if we look at both models, the same area is shaded for both of them, making them equivalent fractions. So, if we take this 2 over 6, notice that both of them have a greatest common factor of 2, meaning we could divide both of them by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 2 over 6 is equivalent to 1 over 3. And then if we take 3 over 9, notice that they both have a greatest common factor of 3. If we divide them both, so 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. 2 over 6 and 3 over 9 are both equivalent to 1 over 3, meaning that 2 over 6 is equivalent to 3 over 9. And that's it for equivalent fractions.